live with a man ever. I'm in bed right now. I have the heater on because I'm always cold. I'm also sleeping on my heated blanket. I don't have to hear a man complaining about it being too hot in here. I'm wearing my cute matching pajamas. I have pimple patches on, and I sleep with my hair up like this. I don't care how it looks. It doesn't get in my way when I'm sleeping. And I'm gonna scroll on TikTok for hours until I finally get sleepy, and I'll probably fall asleep listening to an ASMR live.
Boring! Boring! Boring!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Desert Show. Do you know why this woman is always cold? Because she is a hissing snake, gentlemen. But welcome back. Today we'll take a look at how women are in 2025, and then we'll read a couple of article stories. But no wonder, gentlemen, women are toxic and overall unpleasant when they spend 3 hours each day watching TikTok and women brainwashing them. But now, let's move on to decentering men.
Full love for men. But the reality, I say this with full love for men, but the reality is that men are draining by default. That the default assumption that you need to make for a man in your life is that he is not the source. In fact, he is draining. He is draining by default. He is going to drain your time, your energy, your compassion, and your love.
Why don't you drain these nuts, is what I'm asking. Now, if you ask her to explain herself, how are men draining when they provide, when they are the ones who pay, when they are the ones who give more gifts, when they are the ones who risk to lose it all in marriage? How are men draining when all they ask is for loyalty and a not dead bedroom? How are they draining? She cannot explain herself, because that's how women are. They are irrational, and you cannot even have a conversation with them, but we are the ones who are draining. Well, all right then.
He is going to drain your beauty and your youth and all the resources that you have. Men are draining by default.
Which resources? What are we talking about? Don't try to make sense of it.
Even the best men I know are tremendous amounts of labor and tremendous amounts of risk. That just having a man in your life is going to bring you more labor. It's going to be your domestic labor, your emotional labor, your spiritual labor, because as women, we are the source, which means that we are giving by default.
Yeah, you're giving a headache. Instead of giving head, which is all that men ask, it's like 90% of men's requisites that you give them head. Instead of that, you give headaches.
Women bring value to men by default, by all that we pour into them naturally, that we give to their well-being, to the beauty, to the joy, to their every single aspect of their experience in life. A woman by default, just your average run-of-the-mill woman, not even trying that hard, maybe not even that invested. By default, the default setting of woman is to bring value.
Well, isn't that convenient, gentlemen? It turns out that women don't need to move their little finger just by existing, just by their mere presence in the room. You are already benefiting. You are already stocks increased. You know, they don't even need to do something. They don't need to keep their personality from becoming a harpy. They don't need to be pure and innocent and not have a body count in the triple digits. They don't need to do anything, gentlemen. Just their mere existence is God's gift to you. Do you comprehend that? On the other hand, men by default are evil, not easy. They are evil. They by default are draining, like a black hole of bad energy, and they take everything that these women have to give.
Just you hugging a man, just you paying attention and listening to a man, just you caring for a man, let alone all the things that I'm sure you probably are so thoughtful and so considerate and so generous and so giving and spend so much time coaching him and counseling him and loving him and lifting him up. All these things by default without even trying, we do. Not to mention, you're going to be making his health better, his house better. You're going to be introducing him to your friends. You're going to be giving him fun, amazing things to be doing on the holidays. You might be giving him children so he's not alone in his old age. You're going to be amplifying his status in the eyes of his coworkers, his colleagues, other women. He is touch-starved. He is lonely. No one is paying attention to him except you. Because you are doing these things, he has that in his life, and that is so valuable, and men are draining by default. They are going to take your time, your energy, your love. And the way that they counterbalance this is if a man starts pouring back into you by appreciating you as the source. That is how this is balanced, is a man who recognizes that you are the source and pours into you, sees you, loves you, uplifts you, appreciates you. And that is the only way that this value exchange is made right and true and honest, is by him recognizing you as the source, appreciating you for everything that you're doing, and honoring that sacred exchange. And when you are assessing a man in your life, do not close your eyes to this value exchange and really assess reality.
Well, I hope that you learned something new today, guys. It turns out that we have to bend over backwards. It turns out that we must break our asses trying to work for these women, fight for these women, because their mere presence, you know, is angelical. And they don't need to do anything else. Just them existing is enough for you. Now, it's true, and I will admit that women have a lot of positive effects upon men. And of course, I'm talking about women, good women, not harpies, not demons, like these women are. I'm talking about a real woman. Yes, she has a lot of things to offer, but this is counterbalanced by men literally willing to fight a pack of lions to keep her, all right? So it's two people loving each other. That is benefiting. Having a harpy like you that is just a liability for our resources, for our potential kids that we may have with you, that is not very healthy. You know, it's not really a benefit. And you will be shocked to learn, you and many women like you, that we men no longer care about women like you. We don't need you. We have found better things to do than having massive liabilities in our lives. But gentlemen, let's move on to a woman who is chronically single, and let's see why.
For a second, and this is for my single girls. If you're not a single girl or you haven't been chronically single at a point in your life, keep scrolling. Because I recognize, I just want to preface that this comes from a place of like bitterness and honestly jealousy. I could admit that. I right now am in a relationship, honestly, for like the second time in my life. And it's with the same person that the first one was with. But this is the only like person that I've been like, we're calling each other boyfriend, girlfriend. Yep. Okay, good. I've done the bullshit of like, we're dating for months and we've had the talk about being exclusive, but we won't put a label on it, which is actually just like more bullshit. And
really? You have done that? Well, I'm very shocked. The column is shocked, gentlemen, that this woman is just like all the billions of women who are exactly like her. Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend now, but yeah, you know, I've done all those things, all that part where I spent a decade of my life pursuing Chad and paying attention to men that don't care about me and devaluing my body and my time. Yes, I have done that. I literally don't care what else she's going to say. You're damaged goods, you're beyond the point of no return, and nobody cares about you.
And like more talks and more confusion than actually just labeling it would have been. I hate dating culture. We can unpack it all at a different time. Obviously, I have a lot of thoughts on it. When I come on this app or in real life and I encounter the never single girl, as the chronically single girl, I'm like, we do not relate. I do not compute how you are. In my chronic singleness, I'm 30, right? So I have spent so much time being single. I've been in this relationship now just for a few months, and when we had dated previously, it was like 9 months. So you take like maybe a little over a year out of my life where I've been like locked into this, and then a couple months here and there locked into other things. I have spent
other things, she says. Again, gentlemen, let's presume that she started dating at 18. Now, Judging by modern women, she probably lost her V card at the age of 15, but anyway, let's just presume she started dating at 18. She has been in a serious committed relationship for a total of 1 year, so that makes it 19. From 19 to 30, what has she been doing, guys? She has been hooking up with strangers, having one-night stands with people she cannot even remember the names of, giving out her body to all the chads that didn't care about her at all, right? She has spent over a decade turning herself into garbage, and now she has the audacity, the balls, to come here on TikTok and try to blame men for it, try to blame you for it.
Years, decades single, and I have gone on so many dates, and I am envious of those girls because
I love it when they say single and they mean not possessing a ring that shows commitment. I don't know about you guys, but for me, that is not single, all right? Single are the men who probably a vast majority of you are watching this and haven't touched a woman in 10 years, all right? That is single. Single is not going on dates every second day and getting pumped by Chad once a week. That is not single, according to my dictionary.
I didn't find that many people that I wanted to be in a committed relationship with. I also just am so jaded that I do not possess the ability to like fall hard and fast for someone anymore. And it does make me a little sad, but I have been love bombed more times than I can count. Or like the girl.
And that is the baggage that we men are refusing to take in. We don't want women who already have 27 bad experiences and now they have trust issues and now they will assume the worst of you while expecting you to be better than all the people she's been with in all the aspects possible. We don't want women with baggage. We want pure, innocent women. And if you can't provide that, we'd rather be alone.
Girl that's like in the long-term relationship, you know, she's been in it for years and she gets out and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to like date for the first time in this like climate of dating, and then again immediately find someone, and it's like almost, you know, went on a couple dates but really got to avoid a lot of the years of the trauma that us chronically single girls have been enduring in this dating culture. So chronically taken girls, when I see you at a party, and as the chronically single girl, we're both standing with our mans, we're both in committed relationships, we aren't the same. We are not the same. I have fucking grinded for this. I have endured the traumas. I have dated narcissists, like actual narcissists in the wild, ask my therapist. I have done the love bombers. I have been ghosted more times than I can count. I have spent days ridden with anxiety over situationships. And I have clawed my way to this. And it's nice. And who knows?
It will break. Sorry to spoil it for you. Your relationship will break. Why? Well, for the same reason that we men don't want to date women like you. Because you are unable to hold a healthy relationship. You can't do it. You are broken already.
Who knows if it's forever or not? Whatever. But I have made a home in the trenches. And you just hopped over them. You've never been on the front lines of this battle, okay? I'm a frontline D-Day soldier of dating.
You can suck my, I can't say it on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. It's honestly obscene that you are comparing yourself to men, soldiers, who have passed away fighting. Alright? Comparing your little bullshit dating history to men losing their lives is obscene, and you deserve to be smacked on the face to maybe get a bit of your brain back. We don't care about your trauma, and you're nothing special. In fact, gentlemen, can you answer me this? What is the difference between this woman being quote-unquote chronically single and the women she is mocking that are constantly in relationships or jumping from one man to another? You have done the same. You haven't been single. You just haven't been in a relationship. You have been in one relationship, multiple situationships, multiple talking stages. Your body count is in the double digits, at least. Alright? You haven't been single. What's the difference between you being with a total of, let's say, 35 men and a woman that's been in 35 relationships? What's the difference? You are the same. Just because these men didn't commit to you doesn't mean that you are any different. In fact, you are worse than the woman that you are currently mocking. Pathetic human individual. But gentlemen, let's move on to our last TikTok before our article stories, and it's this one. Now, we have in the fog of war, a tank approaches, gentlemen. We have this woman here that covers 80% of our screen, alright? We won't play the video, but geez, she is massive, gentlemen. But anyway, we have this video here. We won't play it. I just want you to read the first comment, alright? This woman asks the question, or let's just play it to see the question.
For the pretty girls. Why?
Okay, so question for the pretty girls, why? We won't play anymore, but the first comment of this video, guys, with 16,000 likes. Me looking at the pretty girl right now, heart emoji. Alright, you tell me, how can you trust and rely on a gender that lies on this scale? Talking about big scales. How can you trust women when they see this and they call it a pretty girl, right? Guys, don't trust women. They are dishonest. Their nature is dishonest. They lie to each other all the time. They lie to men all the time. And look, this woman, she has a very pretty hair. And if she was thin, if she was healthy, should I say, guys, she probably will be very attractive, all right? But as she currently is, you are not a pretty girl. And I don't say that to be an a-hole. It's just the truth. If we see a man that weighs the same amount, will we call him pretty? No, because that will be dishonest. These women wouldn't call him pretty, all right? It's the Lizzo phenomenon, where women will say that Lizzo is empowered and very beautiful, but when you compare them to Lizzo, they lose their minds. So, no, you are not pretty. You are very fat. You are very unhealthy. And men don't feel attracted to unhealthy women and fat women. So, we'll end the TikTok here. We'll move on to article story because nobody cares about what fat people think. Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm kidding. But again, don't trust women. They are dishonest in their hearts. Now, they hate your standards because they can't meet them. We have to talk about standards a little bit. Hi everyone, as we start out in 2025, I feel as though we need to start posting advice for the repeated posts that we see almost every day. Let's start out with standards. Yeah guys, because I feel like we don't talk about standards enough. I feel like people nowadays, especially women, they don't have enough standards. They need more. Because I'm seeing a lot of y'all settling or being gaslit that your standards are too high, which is not the case. You of course know that this was written by a woman. I can bet my life on it. If you've ever been told your standards are too high, let me be the first to say they are not. Your standards are a reflection of what you value, the boundaries you've set to protect yourself, and the kind of life and relationships you want to build. Your standards are not the problem. People who can't meet them are. The ones who complain about your standards are often the ones who know they'll never rise to them. It's not that what you're asking for is unreasonable, it's that it requires effort, self-awareness, and growth, qualities they don't have or aren't willing to work for. That's not your fault, and it's not your responsibility to lower your expectations to make someone else feel comfortable. A woman sharing advice that it's not your fault to other women, wow, that's gotta be a first, right, gentlemen? I've never seen women saying to other women that it's not their fault. I don't know how it's possible, but it's never women's fault. Have you noticed that, gentlemen? Apparently they are perfect. Settling for less doesn't just hurt you, it reinforces to the other person that it's okay to show up half-heartedly. But when you hold firm, you're sending a message. I know my worth, and I'm not compromising it for anyone who doesn't respect it. The right people won't just meet your standards, they'll appreciate them. Don't let anyone convince you to accept less than you deserve. Let's go into 2025 with this and more. If anyone else has some advice Oh, blah, blah, blah. Happy New Year. Stupid heart emoji. All right. Let's check the comments, gentlemen, because men are not buying it. First comment, by Book of the Guilty. Anyone can set their standards up as high as they want, so long as they realize the higher the standards they are asking for, the more said person who meets their standards is going to ask of them. Well, here we face our first problem with women having so many standards, is that they don't cover like 10% of it, all right? Again, nobody has problems with you having high standards. In fact, you know what, gentlemen? If I have a daughter, I will want her to have high standards. I wouldn't want her to date any bad boy, all right? But here we face our first problem. You have to give something back, because otherwise, all men can be wishing to be with a woman of the caliber of Sydney Sweeney, but deserve very little of it. Another one here says, most of the people being told that their standards are too high don't meet their own standards. Exactly. This being posted by someone with a Cash App handle in their bio makes it even funnier. Men are just laughing at this. Nobody's taking this seriously. Another one here. It really depends on context, though. Some people have unrealistic standards based on social pressures. For example, a woman who has a standard to have a six-figure man, or a man who has a standard of a woman with a big rack. I'm not saying you're wrong. Yours should be with an apostrophe here, but be very careful about the smug attitude of they hate your standards because you can't meet them. It drives a lot of people, it drives a lot of the problems in today's relationship. So we have Cryptic Ren here expecting women to be accountable. Don't make that mistake. Let's read one last. Your post assumes people have balanced and realistic expectations that therefore inform their standards, which is quite often not the case. It's almost never the case. A lot of people set their standards based on what they want, and oftentimes based off of ideals, not based off reality. Could it be, gentlemen, that the woman wanting the six-figure man, 6 feet tall, 6 inches, 6-digit salary man, could it be that that is an ideal that is not based in reality? I'll let you be the judge of that. I feel like your post was meant to build people up and provide inspirational positivity, but people also need to do some self-reflection and get a realistic understanding of what they offer as compared to what they are setting as their own standards. Again, you're making the mistake of expecting modern Western women to self-reflect and be realistic and understanding. My dude, forget about it. It's too late. But gentlemen, let's read a short article to wrap this whole thing up. My 25 female boyfriend, 25 male, posted a picture of us in his Facebook, and now girls are messaging him non-stop how to proceed. So as the title says, my boyfriend basically posted a photo of us with the caption, Mi amor. Oh, we have a Don Juan here, gentlemen. It's a really cute photo, but now all the girls he was interested in a few months ago, before we even got together, are starting to message him like, hey, how's it going? I know he hasn't had any contact with them since we got together. Me and my boyfriend are watching TikTok videos on his phone, and the messages just keep on coming. It was like 3 girls that he either asked on dates and they never responded to him, or they just flat out ghosted him. Well. He blocked them immediately, but by the way, ladies, this is what you do, alright? Whenever I get these women, guys, oh no, I don't want to block him, that will be rude. Suck my pants, alright? Just block him. Just like this man did. It shows respect towards the other person. He blocked them immediately, but for some reason, one of them tried calling him right away. He never answered and blocked her number, but she got a hold of his roommate's Facebook account and asked his roommate for my number, and she sent me a message on Facebook. I thought she was going to warn me or something, but all she asked was, hey, how's your boyfriend doing? Can you tell him to call me? I asked my boyfriend if they had a history before. He said that they were planning to meet before, but she ghosted him on the day they were supposed to meet, so he moved on. Is this normal? How do we proceed with this? Again, gentlemen, we have a well moment, because this is how women are, right? And this is how all women are. This is a female instinct. Now, not all women are currently like this or presently like this, because women who have self-respect don't indulge in this behavior. Women who have morals and values don't act like this. But all women are like this when they let go, when they don't, hold themselves to a certain moral level. Excuse me. And this is what happens, all right? The same women, guys, that will ghost you, that will not give a flying crap about you, are the same women that if circumstances change, they will literally go research your roommate, to contact your girlfriend, to contact you. They will move mountains if the circumstances are right. And who wants their love anyway? Why do you want a woman that didn't give a crap about you in the past, but now is crazy about you because she doesn't want the attention to fade? These women, gentlemen, honestly, and we'll close on these thoughts, are just terrible. They are terrible people. They are terrible dating options. You should fear to get into a relationship with them. You should be concerned, all right? Absolutely horrible behavior, but this is how they are, and this is how most of them currently behave. So stay away from them, gentlemen. If you feel alone, if you feel lonely, I tell you what, don't worry. The moment you get a girlfriend, if you find a woman that is worth pursuing, that is worth being in a relationship with, you will see all those pathetic worms that didn't pay attention to you in the past come crawling back. If currently nobody gives a crap about you, just wait until you get a bit older, you have a bit more money, your body is more in shape, you have matured. All these women that didn't care about you in your 20s will reach out to you in your 30s. And if you strive to be a good man, to be a man that keeps improving, if you focus on your own life, you will see that these women, guys, they will regret deeply and bitterly that they didn't see the potential in you. But gentlemen, we'll close the video right here. Let me know what you think of our TikToks, of our article stories, and of our conversation. Please like and subscribe, because it's very important for the channel if you want to push this content to help other men. And if you want more content and more desert, you can subscribe to my Patreon, where you can also ask me personal questions. I'll see you next time, boys. Have a good one.